So now we're going to just place in our little building here a series of fixed windows up here, an array of them. And to do that, we're just going to use the window command, insert a window. And you'll see here that default is a series of fixed windows with a wood trim. And of course, if we don't want this particular type of window, a kind of conventional window, we could go in and see what other windows are available, and there's a whole series of them here. Not a whole lot, not a real plethora of them, but there are out on the internet and through manufacturers a real plethora of windows. I don't know of any really good ones except Anderson, but they are primarily residential, so you're not going to find the more typical commercial windows. So anyway, let's get into putting a window in. So we've got a fixed window here. I'm going to place it. I'm just going to pop it in here right now. So you can see we can place it just by setting it into an elevation. We'll notice that the wide part of the seal is on the wrong side. I'm going to hit the tab key to flip it, and now the short side of the is on the inside, and that's really the way it should be installed. And so let's go in though and create a window the size that we want and with a metal frame. And so to do that, I'm just going to pick a window, it doesn't really matter which one, and say edit the type. And then I'm going to duplicate this, of course, and I'm going to put since I'm using this kind of 48-inch module on the exterior for the windows and everything, kind of 4 feet and 2 feet, increment at 2 feet. I'm going to make the window 48 inches by 72 inches, and of course 72 inches is 6 feet. And then I'm going to put out beside this metal so that I know that I changed the material from wood to metal. And if we look here at the sash, okay, that they're calling the frame the sash, and if we look at the sash material, not so great wood, but what I'm going to do is change that up to aluminum. So I'm going to go in here to aluminum. Of course, there's a whole variety of enamel aluminums that I could, anodized red, anodized silver, bronze, so forth. I haven't put those materials on the other one, so I'm just going to use this aluminum right now. And so it'll come out aluminum. And then the height is set 6 feet, so I'm going to set this to 6 feet. And then the width here is 4 feet. That's what I want. All these other settings I'm going to leave fixed. The window inset, for instance, and the default seal height, 2 foot 6 inches. All right, and we'll say OK to that. And so now we're ready to put this window in. And to do it this time, what I'm going to do, delete this window. What I'm going to do is go to the 3rd floor. So I'm going to go in here to floor plans and open the 3rd floor plan. And we can see on my wall, and there's our banded window right there below us. And I'm going to go back into Windows now, fixed 48 by 72, and I'm going to set, as you can see, they insert by the center, a center snap. That'd be right. That sounds right. And now what I'd like to do is, and of course I can just copy this window from here. Let's say I want to put a 4 foot space in between it, so it would be 8 feet. I'm just going to type in 8 feet. And I can continue to do that, or I could do an array, copy an array. So I'm going to go, instead of copy an array. There's a linear array and a radial array, and I'm going to do a linear array. And then the number of windows I want, and I'm just going to guesstimate that I want 8 and see if 8 will work. I should figure it out, but I don't want to take the time. Once again, from here to 8 feet, and that worked. Okay. Oh yeah, worked pretty good. The windows are in place. Let's take a 3D view of it, or better yet, let's go look at the elevation. So I'm going to go to south elevation, and we'll look we have one too many windows based on if we want that same space. So as you can see, based on our module, we can't use 4 feet and have it equal. Now, these were automatically grouped as a part of a group. So if I go in here and put 7 in here now, it's going to remove the 7th one. And that's real convenient. The groups sometimes are a pain. Of course, this one wasn't made with the group, so it's a loner out there somewhere. So what I'd like to do is distribute these windows, these 8 windows, equally from the end, the 2 edges of this band of windows here, so that everything lines up here. And a little trick to do that fairly easily. And the first thing I'm going to do is ungroup these windows, because as a group, since they were done with an array, they're going to be fixed to that distance. So I'm just going to ungroup them all, select them, ungroup them all, and now they'll work as an independent window. Notice they don't have that dotted line around them anymore. If you see an object that when you click on it and it turns blue and there's a dotted line around it, that means it's a part of a group somewhere. So just FYI. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is move this window over here where I want it to be. So I'm going to do a move and right there and line it up with there. So I'll get that one window over there. And then I'm going to do a dimension really easily, since that's the common way to dimension in construction documents, the location of a window. And then you'll notice this little equal sign right here, EQ, that means equal. And so if I can make all these dimensions equal, and the item that I linked that dimension to will then move with it. So I'm going to click on here and say equal. And notice all my windows, now the space between them is all equal. If I unequal them, you'll see that that's 8 feet 7 and 11/32. Now that's going to be off my grid. It may not be design wise what I want to do, but as you can see now, those 8 windows are all lined up equally across that space. Of course, the mullions don't exactly line up here, so one might be disturbed about that. That's how you can put fixed windows in, edit their materials, edit their sizes, and like I said, there's a whole lot of windows out there that you can find that you might want to use.